Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to my craft room. So tonight we're going to do something super fun. We're going to use a combination of acrylic paints with a little bit of glitter and a little bit of resin, epoxy, to start the base to a nice beach cup. So I've already got my tumbler on the turner. I've cleaned it with denatured alcohol, and I've got my resin epoxy mixed. Okay, so we're going to do 4 different colors. So this is folk art and it's cinnamon. So we'll do a little bit of this in our cup. And with that, we're going to do a little bit of this really nice, sparkly sand kind of color glitter. This is a beautiful glitter. I'm sorry, I don't really have a name for you because it is from AliExpress, which I do have some more glitter from them coming, and I will totally show it to you guys when it comes because it's so beautiful. Now this one is the Waverly. It's a chalk finish acrylic paint in peacock. So we're gonna do a little bit of that. And then with that, we're also gonna add a little bit of glitter. This is again from AliExpress. And I'm sorry I don't have a name for you. It's just a number 12. However, all of these colors I've reordered. So when they come in, I'll go through everything and make sure that you guys get to see them all. Okay, so this is again chalk acrylic paint. And this is in Malachite, again by Waverly. Oh, that one came out easy. And then we'll put a little bit of this oceany green glitter in there. And then our last one is also by Waverly. It's chalk paint, and this one is pool blue. All right, and then in this one, I'm actually gonna put a little bit of this white. This is just from Walmart, but I do like this glitter. All right, so now I'm going to just put a little bit of epoxy in each one. Keeping a little bit of epoxy back in my cup clear so that I can go over the entire thing with it in the end. Just gonna stir everything up. All right, now I'm gonna just move you everything plus you over to my tumbler. All right, so now we're going to apply our acrylic paints. As you can see, I did place a piece of paper underneath my turner just because I'm using a lot of extra paint because I want this to be nice and thick. I want to give the effect of lots of different dimensions in this. So I like to use thick paint and kind of a little bit more of it than I need. So I'll be pulling a lot of the paint off as I go, and the paper just helps to catch it so I can throw it away without making a mess. Now I'm going to start on the bottom with my brown, of course, because the beach sand is going to be the base there on the bottom. So I'm using my spatula to just sort of move my paint around. I did get this spatula at the Dollar Tree in the makeup section. And these are really nice because, of course, they don't stick. And the epoxy, when it dries, it will just pull right off of it. All right, so now we're using our next color. So we're going to get into our blues now, and this is going to start making the appearance of our water. So again, the paint is pretty thick, but we're going to just put it on thick and smooth it around. I know it initially looks like quite a hot mess, but it really does come out nice. And this is only the beginning of the hot mess. Just wait till we start blending it all together. It's a little sticky because of the epoxy in it, but that's okay. All right, so that blue is done. Now we're going to go to our kind of turquoise blue. The water needs a couple of different colors because water's not really just the one color. So adding the turquoise blue to the blue on top will give it more of a natural textured look of water. So same thing, we're just pouring on our paint. And now we will just smooth it all around and cover a cup. Again, it's nice and thick and there's a lot of it.
Don't let this mess worry you, though. It really does come out to be a nice cup. This is one of my favorite cups to make. I think maybe because I live in Florida and I just love the beach so much. Okay, so now we're going to go to our last color, and that's our light blue. That's that pool color. And this is going to give us the sky up top. So we have our layers of sand, water, and sky. And again, this is going to be really thick. And you know, as these sit, the last layer tends to be a little bit more stringy because of the epoxy. It is okay. So I went ahead and changed my brush though and got a clean one, because even though I'm going to be blending them all together, initially I do want the pool color, the light color, to be pretty clear. I don't want to necessarily blend all those darker blues in it just yet. So we're going to smooth it around and just cover the entire cup. It actually feels kind of nice painting this nice thick paint just over the entirety of the cup. It's kind of fun. All right, so now that we've got the entire cup painted, I'm just going to pour a little bit more resin on. So first we're going to clean out the inside of the cup. I keep baby wipes very handy for that. And now the resin, this is the little bit of resin that we kept to the side. And I do this because when I go to blend everything in, this just helps it to blend nice and smooth. And it's only a little bit of epoxy, it's not a lot. But also adding this little extra layer of epoxy makes it easier when I go to sand it once it dries. Now I want it to move very well, so I do take my heat gun to it just a little bit. I want to kind of get it back into a little bit of a more fluid state, and heat will do that. Now you want to keep moving your heat gun back and forth. You don't want to keep it in one spot because you don't want to burn it. All right, now here comes the fun part. We're going to start blending it all together. This does get a little messy, and that's why you have your paper there to catch it all. And you just start from the bottom, go in one direction, and blend up. And then you blend until you're happy with the texture around the cup and you're happy with the look of the blend. That's going to be personal preference. The main thing is you don't want lines. You don't want it to look like you've just put one color on top of the other. You want it to just blend in really natural. I have this bad habit though. I keep touching my cup always, no matter what I'm doing to it. I always want to keep touching it, even when I know I should let it just stop and turn. I have to touch it one more time. Okay, so now I'm going to take off my gloves, and even though we put a little bit of glitter in the cup inside the paint, that kind of allows a little kind of shine coming all the way through, but we still need to add glitter layers to it. So when we add our glitter, we're going to go in the same pattern as we did with our paint. So we're going to go with our brown, and I like to just go kind of high up and a very just gentle tap around so that I don't get big blobs on it. Just a nice little thin tap. If you don't feel comfortable with your ability to just tap it out, then use a shaker. Okay, so now we're going to go to our darker blue. And again, we're just tapping out a nice little light layer around. And then next will be our turquoise green. Again, just tapping out a light little layer. And you can see it's just light little spots coming out because you don't need a lot of this. Although I personally don't think you can ever have too much glitter. Alright, so now over top of our light blue, we're going to go back again with our white.
So I know the process is a little messy with this one, but it really
Now my white, I'm going to go
make
just a little bit more heavy-handed than I did with the others. Just because it's a much more transparent glitter. But it's still pretty light, even though it's a little heavier than the other glitters. So we're going to let this rotate and dry. Now I keep this cup on the turner while the acrylic paint is drying because I want it to continue to rotate and turn and just see, you know, how it's going to look. So we'll let this cup dry and then we will sand it down nice and smooth, and then we'll put a layer of epoxy on it. See how that is. If need be, And we may smooth it one more time with sandpaper lightly. And then we'll put another layer of epoxy. We'll put our decals and then a third layer of epoxy. So we'll let this go and we'll be back when those steps are completed. And here is our beautiful beach cup. I hope you love it. Please give this video a big thumbs up and have a great rest of the day.